Welcome to Product Marketing Alliance. We're home to everything a product marketer needs to learn, share, and succeed in their role. The definitive product marketing course, Product Marketing Core, is the perfect platform for experienced product marketers to broaden their existing knowledge, as well as educate newcomers beginning with their product marketing journey. Our community. We're home to more than 10,000 product marketers across the world, and every single day, tons of product marketing specific conversations go down. The community hasn't just been an absolute wealth of knowledge and answers, it's the place for constant inspiration. With a PMA membership plan, everything a product marketeer could possibly need is all in there, all in one place. Whether you want to grab a template, learn about how to become more strategic from product marketeers who've mastered it, sit back and watch hundreds of hours of presentations from some of the world's most trusted brands, our packages have got it all and more. We really are, dare we say it, the one-stop shop.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everybody. Thanks for joining. Thanks for saving the time in your day to come and watch us. Really happy to be part of the Product Marketing Rendezvous. I'd like to first thank Product Marketing Alliance for the invite. Special thanks to Rose. Super sweet. Thanks for the invite. And I was invited here today to tell you a little bit about our experience in the company that I'm currently working for. And I'm going to tell you a bit about this example that we are executing as we speak. So the title of the presentation is Product and Customer Behavior, Understanding Customers Who Are Crazy About Your Products. I am Jonathan America. I'm a Senior Product Marketing Manager at TomTom, but let me, to begin with, let me tell you a little bit about myself. So I started as my bachelor is I'm a geographer, and right before the university and the masters, I already started working with digital mapping and location technology. I've worked for multiple corporations, multinational companies, but always related to location technology, and that's how I got to being a product manager and later on a product marketing. And I've been working with products basically my whole career. So right after the university, first work until today, I've always been involved with product. From the creation, in my case, digital mapping, creation of the maps, and then go into a more of a manager position, dealing with developers and data scientists, but always related with product. While I was from one company to another, there was a little bit of a gap, and I think it's important to say that I took a sabbatical in between companies, and I traveled the world for a while, a little bit more than a year, where I visited more than 30 plus countries. And the reason I'm saying that is that when I came back to my corporate life, to working for these companies, I came back as a whole different person, which I think contributed a lot for this position that I am today, working with products. Having said that, after talking a bit about myself, and I want to tell this experience, I have to tell you the company that I work for. Otherwise, it's too much out of context. So I work for this company called TomTom. For some people might be a new name, but the reality is that TomTom has been around for 29 years. Of course, founded in 1991, and back then, one of the first breakthrough was the GPS device, the portable navigation device. That was a big disruption. TomTom was really, really big back then. But then, as we all know, around 2007, 2008, another disruption in the market, I guess, not only for TomTom, but for everybody. The iPhone, the mobile navigation was everywhere. And TomTom had to reinvent itself, right? And so coming from a 100% consumer hardware company, now transitioning to a full B2B and software and service company. And that's very important for the whole uh, um, speech that we're going to have now. So coming from the hardware, from the devices, consumer company, now TomTom is fully B2B software and data company. So the main products that TomTom work today, it's all around location technology. So nowadays, if you have a phone, if you want to order a food, if you want to check in somewhere, if you want to meet people, it's all based on location. It's where you are, related to that area, or you're having something delivery. So it's everything basically is has location technology behind it. So TomTom nowadays, the main products and features, they are around building highly accurate maps, navigation software, and also traffic information and services. So the real-time information on how traffic is doing, where I can charge my EV car, and all related to navigation. So estimated time of arrival, when am I going to get to my destination based on the current traffic conditions and so on. So that was a transition that TomTom had to go through the years. And nowadays fully transitioned B2B software and data company. And just to give you an example of some of our products, this slide gives you a good overview. So ranging from maps, and now we're talking about digital maps as a database or on your phone with the visualization, going to navigation software. Many of our customers are automotive companies. All of them works with TomTom, but also traffic and travel information for, again, for OEMs, for automotive, but also for enterprise business, for government business. And more recently, TomTom has been investing a lot in innovation products, and one of the main products for TomTom is automated driving, right? So the cars that autonomously drive around the road and the path towards this autonomous driving. So nowadays you can already buy cars that has lane assist and speed assist, brake assist, and all of this powered by a high definition map. So this is the part of innovation that TomTom has been heavily investing. And why am I saying this? It's because when you're talking about customer behavior and product usage, it's very important to say that in my experience, and I think many others, we're talking, at least in my universe, we're talking about the B2B context, which I think is much more difficult when you're working with directly with the end user, or if you have a website, or if you have an app that you can get the feedback directly from the end user. In a B2B context, it's much more difficult, right? So how to understand better your customers and products within this B2B context, or in other words, within this B2B context, how to understand product usage, how your users are using your product, so user behavior. And then at the end, once you know how they use your product, fine-tune the positioning in order to bring more customers that like to use your products. What I'm saying here is nothing new. It's nothing new, and I have to give credit to what we've been experimenting at TomTom. So basically, all I'm saying here is a mix of two awesome books. So the first one is The Lean Startup by Eric Ries, and the other one is Obviously Awesome by April Dunford. I'm pretty sure you guys know these two really huge success. So what I'm trying to do here is a combination of these two books, one in a pre-phase where you need to understand better your customers. Who are your customers? The one that really like and heavily use your product, and then using this information to create your positioning and your messaging strategy. To be even more specific, I'm bringing together chapter 4 of the part 1 called Experiment from the Lean Startup, and I'm mashing it up, putting together with the section number 2, step 1, understand the customers who love your product, which is basically the inspiration to do this, this presentation. So if I have to describe this product, these two books, sorry, in a nutshell, it would be something a little bit like this, right? So Eric talks about, in that specific chapter, he talks about how to build, measure, and learn from your product. So taking this specific, the learn aspect of this cycle, it's very interesting because he talks about instead of asking for feedback, and this is very, very important, is to grab feedback. How? By monitoring the data usage of your products and features and services. So you have to be able to monitor the data usage, how your customers use your products. Because when you ask for feedback, probably you guys, everybody has been through this situation, like when you're talking to a customer or a prospect and you're asking for feedback, there's this whole situation where we're diplomatic, we want to give feedback, but there's a lot going on, human interaction, emotional skills, and so on. So that's why it's very important that instead of asking for feedback, it's really, really grabbing feedback and getting the real usage of your real customers in a production environment, so you learn more about your customers. And doing this exercise, you can identify your top customers and your heavy users. And this will be key in order to apply the second phase here, which is going to April Dunford's book. So first, we learn from the product usage. Who are your customers? Who are the top ones? How they use you? Why they like you so much? And then you apply this information onto your positioning strategy. So here you see a waterfall example from April. This is her design. So, and if you see, there's a step to it, but if you go to number 4, and you can apply throughout the whole process, like identify your unique attributes, your value, but it's specific to step number 4, where customers that care, who cares a lot about the value of your product, this has a perfect link. So on the left-hand side, we just learned who are your customers, how they use it, and now you can use this valuable information to actually come up with the reasons why they're so satisfied with your products. Why do they like you? And then doing this exercise, you're able to identify the unique value that you are providing to these top customers. And then you can fine tune in order to find similar customers. So you can fine tune your positioning. You're going to be talking to the right audience, so customers that are similar to your top customers, and understanding how to approach different segments. So this is the inspiration. This is nothing new. We're basically applying these two books, one heavily focused on product management, how to grab feedback instead of asking, use the data, use the product usage to understand your customers, and identify, very important, identify your top customers, and then using this information in a very nice positioning exercise. In order to get out of this theory and tell you our real example, how we did this in TomTom, again, a full B2B company. And TomTom has multiple products, right? Products that are only data sets that are inside the vehicle, inside of the car, but we have a lot of APIs that can be used. And in order to do this exercise, what we did was, let's use the APIs to start monitoring customers, because there is a more direct interaction between the end user and TomTom. So in order to do that, we used our APIs that are available in our developer portal. If you guys are curious and want to see what type of products we have, go to developer.tomtom.com and you will see a little bit of the products that we have. And I put here a summary. These are some of the APIs that we have. And even if you're a developer, if you like coding, you can just go there and for free start using it. So we have, it's a location technology company. So we have APIs, for example, to create a map display when you're using a map on your phone, all that's beautiful colors and design, the streets, the building. This is all in the maps APIs. We also have a direction APIs, which is basically how to create routes. So from point A to point B, if I'm going on a car or a motorcycle or walking, or if in the middle of my route, I want to do 3 stops. So all this routing engine, this routing intelligence. We have places, which is pretty much when you search for a restaurant, for a cinema, or you search for your friend's house. This is all about search. So searching for places and getting information on places like restaurants, what time they're open, and so on. We have the traffic family. The traffic family is really to put on top of the map, to overlay on the map your real-time information on traffic. So those basic colors that you see, the green, yellow, and red, so you know how the traffic situation is going right now. And also you can more accurately calculate the ETA, the time of arrival, based on real-time traffic conditions. And other ones like tracking, which is very important for fleet and logistics industry. You can track all your fleet, know who are performing better, and so on. So we use this set of products to implement what we've been, what I just showed you, like how to track. Let's track these products, let's track the usage, so we get to understand better our customers, and more importantly, our top customers, the ones that heavily use the products, which really, really like the product. So what we did was we got together with some very clever, intelligent developers and engineers, and we created a dashboard in order to monitor all these APIs, all these products. And this is really, really important. If you want to apply the grab feedback idea, you need to be able to monitor how your products are being used. So this is what we did. We developed this dashboard where I can see, and I put some examples. I'm not saying any customer name or any real usage, it's just examples. So in the map family, you can monitor if people are using more raster tiles versus vector tiles, or if they are using the predefined map styles. Or on the places family, when you're searching, you can see if the customers are using a premium feature that we call extended search or not, and so on. So the routing family, you can understand if people are just using cars or other types of routes. In the traffic family, you can monitor if they are really using the 2 flavors of traffic that we have, which is the traffic flow and the instant. So you can monitor all these little features and options that we created, and you can actually get a real proof from the market, from real customers, if those features are being used or not. So this is also very good for the product managers to know what they have to invest more time on it, or what they can deprecate. So this is very important, not only for product marketing to understand customer behavior, but also for product managers to understand what parts of the products needs to be focused on. So if I take one as an example, I'm not going to talk about the whole thing, but if we take, for example, routes, the routing API, where you can, one of the features, there's multiple features, but one of the features is you can choose the type of your route. So if I'm walking, excuse me, if I'm walking, if I'm on a bike, if I'm on a car, and it's very important for TomTom because fleet and logistics is one of our focus business. So if they are using truck routing and so on. So you start with the higher overarching question. So what is the percentage of customers using the default routing, which is car? So people don't actually change the default, just use car routing. From these people, from people using the routing API, what's the percentage of people using different types of routes? Or no, 99% of my customers only use car. And then you can start focusing and going down the funnel of this analysis. And so you begin from this overarching idea that everybody uses the routing API, and then you go down one level. Who are the top customers using car routing? And then you keep going. So let me see now, who are the top customers using truck routing or bike or pedestrian routing? So after doing this monitoring, the dashboard gives to us easily and quick, who are the top customers for truck in our fleet and logistics business, who are the ones using mainly pedestrian routes. So, and then you start identifying the customers. So for example, and then you get to this concept of champions. Well, who are your champion customers? Who are championing your products? And then you start having answers to, for example, customers that are heavily using your fleet and logistics products, who are using more bike routing. So who are your top TomTom bike customers, which are heavily used for food delivery, something that it's really trend right now. So who are your customers using EV routing? So to identify basically, for example, car sharing, very important segment in the on-demand business. And like I said before, who are your champion customers using pedestrian routes? Very important for last mile and multimodal. So now you have at least a clear picture of which customers are your top ones in each of your products. Going back to the title of the presentation, who are the customers who heavily use each part of your product, or in other words, who are the customers who love your product? Of course, that we try to combine this dashboard, this richness of data in product usage. We try to combine this as well, of course, with some qualitative feedback. So we start identifying the top customers by grabbing feedback, not asking, but by grabbing feedback. And we combine this. And now that I know my top customers, instead of talking to everybody, I can have interviews, personal interviews to top selected customers, those ones that I know that heavily use my product, those ones that I know that love my product and really understand my product. So from the quantitative feedback, grabbing the feedback, now you can combine this with more qualitative feedback and input, talking to customers. And then when you have these two approaches combined together, you can for sure have a better positioning, nail down your positioning, fine tune your message, and so on. One example of qualitative feedback that we have, it's also a dashboard. You can get qualitative feedback not only by interviews and talking to people, but we have a dashboard where we monitor all the feedback that people put in the website. So complaints, hey, there's a chat where people can talk to us and send questions. So we analyze all those questions, like what are the difficulties that users are having, what are the problems, feedback, some critics, some positive, constructive critics. So we combine, so we also grab the qualitative feedback via a dashboard, not only via interview, but we're constantly grabbing and combining these two dashboards, one very product usage and data and consumer behavior usage combined with this qualitative feedback, manual input, and also combined with our interviews and your meetings with customers. And so now you have all the information needed, not all the information, but you have much more, you are much more aware of your top customers to actually write down or fine tune or adapt your positioning. So just to circle back now and close down the presentation, going back to our inspiration to the two books that I mentioned, and as a summary of the presentation as well, what we can say is you use this learn, especially the learn chapter, the learn exercise that you're gonna get from the data, from product usage, from creating a dashboard that can monitor how people use your products. And then based on this data, you're gonna identify your top customers, your champions, the ones that really like you and the ones that really understand your product. Combine it with also with qualitative feedback, because now you know the top customers, you know your champion customers. So now you can talk to these guys, understand them better. And once you have all this information, basically you can apply to April Dunford's, this is actually her canvas, her positioning canvas. So you can apply in the various steps of this process. So for example, actually you can apply through the whole process. So if you see here, key unique attributes, by monitoring your customer, you're going to identify what is the features that are most used or not by different segments, by different markets. This is very important. Enable value plus proof. So how do you identify the value? By identifying those customers that really use your product and talking to them. It becomes clear like what type of value you're bringing to those specific customers. And of course, the last one here, customer segments that care. By analyzing the product, by analyzing how customers use your product, basically you are identifying the customers that care, the champions, the top users, the one that understand your product. So this is what we're trying to do at TomTom. Again, it's a B2B company, basically offering map technology, location technology, a lot of data, a lot of APIs, service company. Of course, if you're working in a consumer or retail or B2C or whatever B2C, it might be different, but I think the idea is valid. So monitoring, grabbing feedback, and then asking for feedback, and then applying that knowledge to your positioning or fine-tuning your positioning and your message. This is what I had today. This was my experience. If you guys have questions, please, my email is here, my LinkedIn is here. More than happy to talk to all of you. Connect with me on LinkedIn, drop me a message, and I'm happy to have a coffee and talk to you guys. That's it. Thank you very much, and I'll see you guys the next time.